Journalism in this country died a long time ago. And maybe by a long time ago, I don't know, 10 years. Or maybe it was just dying. But at some point along the way, it's done. This is the story. BLM protesters seen assaulting Trump supporters at Million MAGA March ID'd as journalism student. What person goes to college to be a journalist, but has within them the capacity to brutally beat and injure people they don't like? When it comes to high-profile politics and ideology, let me clarify a little bit. I suppose everybody has the capacity to be a violent lunatic, but typically journalism is about seeking out information, better understanding, and then disseminating information to help people. This is why I say journalism is dead. The people that are getting involved in journalism now and have been for quite some time are not interested in disseminating information. They're propagandists, ideologues. They're violent. They're crazy. And I know I've seen many of these people. Now, don't get me wrong. There are people who want to do good journalism. They exist. But the industry is being infected by zealotry and cultist ideology and propagandists. Here's the story from Fox News. A Black Lives Matter protester was caught on video assaulting supporters of President Trump, is reportedly a journalism student at Howard University. Brittany S. McAllister, 29, was filmed purportedly punching and kicking men and women several times over the course of the Washington, D.C. event, according to a report from the Post-Millennial. In one incident, McAllister allegedly kicked an unconscious man who had been knocked out by 39-year-old Kenneth Wayne DeBerry. DeBerry was one of 4 people the city's Metropolitan Police arrested for disorderly conduct. Oh, just for disorderly. Apparently coming up behind somebody and sucker punching them is just disorderly. McAllister has yet to be arrested, according to a recent press release from the department. President Trump later retweeted the video. In another clip, McAllister appears to be running up and punching a woman in the back of the head. She then runs in the opposite direction. Anti-Trump political organization Refuse Fascism had reportedly tagged McAllister in a video where she spoke at Black Lives Matter Plaza. However, the tweet has since been deleted and McAllister's accounts have been deactivated. I'll give a shout out to that Refuse Fascism organization. You see, my understanding, and I could be wrong, is that they were an offshoot of something called RevCom, Revolutionary Communists. They show up all the time. They wear uniforms and they goose step or whatever. And they go left, right, left, and they march. And it's really sad. They're LARPing. But because nobody wanted to join the Revolutionary Communists, my understanding, and again, I could be wrong, it's been a while since I covered this stuff, is that they launched an offshoot called Refuse Fascism and then started getting people to come down. I went to an event in New York and I was filming it and it was put on by Refuse Fascism. And I asked a woman and I was like, can I ask you a question? I was like, you're here with Refuse Fascism. Do you know, are you here in support of communism? And then she got immediately snapped. And she was like, get out of here, you fake news, you're lying, who are you with? And I was like, RevCom is the organization that runs Refuse Fascism. And I was trying to very delicately and honestly ask you if you were here in support of RevCom or if you were unaware. Lady just flipped out at me. That's the trick. That's the propaganda. It's just Refuse Fascism. We have no ulterior motive. Oh, by the way, our parent organization, Revolutionary Communists. They say although the march was relatively peaceful for the first few hours of demonstrations, protesters clashed with many of the thousands of marchers in the afternoon. Let me just correct that for you, Fox News. They didn't clash. They were beating people. Punching a woman in the back of the head is not a clash. Sorry. 21 people were ultimately arrested for a variety of charges, including assault and weapons possession. 2 officers were injured and several firearms recovered. You can't have guns in D.C. I mean, under the Constitution, you're supposed to be able to, but you can't. Reacting on Twitter, the president instructed police officers not to hold back. Antifa scum ran for the hills today when they tried attacking the people at the Trump rally because those people aggressively fought back. Antifa waited until tonight when 99% were gone to attack innocent MAGA people. DC police, get going, do your job, and don't hold back. Trump also hammered Democratic Mayor Muriel Bowser, claiming she was not doing her job and accused the media of being silent. Howard University did not ultimately respond to Fox News' request for comment. What did Trump do? What did Trump do about this? It was in federal jurisdiction. Trump could have mobilized DHS, FPS. There are a lot of resources that Trump could have used in federal jurisdiction. He could have called the National Guard. He didn't. He tweeted. He tweeted as old people were being beaten, as kids were crying and being shoved. Trump tweeted. Good for him, I suppose. Well, at least Trump tweeted about it, I guess, because Joe Biden did not. And I'll tell you this. At the very least, Trump has seemed angry about the far left violence. And the DHS has actually deputized police in Portland to do something about it. So I can respect that under Trump, something will be done. But I can, I think you should be rest assured, all of you lefties, that Joe Biden will do nothing. Nothing. Now, here's the reality. Antifa does not like the Democratic Party. A lot of people try and claim that Antifa is the military wing of the Democrats. Dude, they hate the Democrats. They hate liberals. Stop calling them liberals. Oh, it's so annoying. But that's what Conservative Inc., I guess they call it. They say liberal all the time. They say repeal Section 230. It's like, dude, you clearly have no idea what you're talking about. I'm a liberal, okay? Now, apparently liberals are right wing. At least the ones are paying attention. Because if I came out and said, yes, I believe the ridiculous accusations against Brett Kavanaugh, I guess that would make me left wing. But that's insane. My policy positions aren't right. I just care about reality. Apparently that's a right-wing position now because, well, reality has a right-wing bias these days, doesn't it? Long departure from the days of Stephen Colbert back on the Colbert Report. Now, look at Covington. The mainstream media is not reality. Now, don't get me wrong. You've got QAnon people not in reality for the most part. Trust the plan. And now you've got a lot of Trump people not really in reality. Not all of them, but there's a lot of them who believe, I'm sorry, man, it's just true. I'm getting a lot of people hitting me up with these crazy conspiracies, I shouldn't call them conspiracies, not conspiracies. Getting hit up with like Trump is secretly working behind the scenes on a master plan and all this other stuff. And it's like, okay, dude, look, you can believe whatever you want to believe. I just go off the evidence. Trump puts out evidence about I'll follow it right on. But I think for the most part, for the longest time, it's been the left that's been in this deluded, paranoid state. And that's why people like me and people like you are talking about these things. I actually would imagine, based on, we did a survey a while ago, most of the people watching probably aren't diehard conservatives. Because I see what the diehard Trump supporters talk about. They're making fun of me. Like they were posting on the Donald.win saying, we know you lurk here, Tim. You're a cuck. And I'm like, all right. Yeah, I do lurk there, because I go there to see what they're talking about, look for information. And it's because, well, a lot of the times I don't think they're posting absolute truth. Unfortunately, they're posting more relevant things and in many instances more honest things than the mainstream media. That's just a reality. I got to fact check these things for sure, but the mainstream media, I mean, these major corporations are insane right now. Well, here's the news. Former Antifa activist, Antifa hates the Democratic Party. He blames Biden and others who pretend they don't exist for the group's rise to prominence. Gabriel Nadal is a former Antifa member and author of Behind the Black Mask, My Time as an Antifa Activist, is not surprised in the slightest by the actions of the far left activists and called on President-elect Joe Biden to denounce the groups by name. For the last couple of weeks, Joe Biden has been calling for unity among Americans, but you know where he could really start? He could start by condemning the violence perpetrated against President Trump's supporters, Nadal has told Fox News. If Joe Biden really wants unity among Republicans and Democrats, he needs to stand strong with the American people and call Antifa out by name. But he's probably not going to do that because he's been on record already saying that it is just an idea and he doesn't want to admit that he lied. He's correct. Gabriel is correct. Biden could do that. Biden won't do that. Biden is not interested in unity. And worse still, Biden won't even just tell them to stop. That's it. Biden could come out and say, these Trump chumps, these ugly chumps, to hell with them. But stop being violent. That's it. He won't. Trump would. Biden won't. That means that not only is he not going to be the president of unity, it means that he's going to stand idly by as violent lunatics stomp people and beat people, even children and women. In New York, in the Jews for Trump caravan, some woman, I think it was a woman, pepper sprayed children. Remarkable. Just the depravity of these people. And then in D.C., much the same. Little girls crying, a woman being punched in the back of the head, a man being knocked to the ground, and the left putting out propaganda after propaganda. You may have seen we did a segment on IRL about Andy No. He put out a video of a guy getting sucker punched. Then everyone said, Andy's not showing you the full context. Look, this guy started it. Then they put up this clipped video where it shows this guy walking up and swinging at somebody. And then the full video was that Antifa had been stalking and beating and harassing several people, a family, and this guy intervened to defend them. That's the name of the game. The far left is nuts. They don't like Biden, and Biden won't do anything about it. You know what? It's not true that Antifa are the enforcer of the Democratic Party intentionally, but the Democrats certainly love what they are doing, attacking and threatening and beating Trump supporters, making sure the Trump supporters are too scared to speak out. And you know what? Guess what? It's true. The secret Trump voter, the cowards who would not stand up and let everyone know that they were fighting to get Trump elected. I think it's funny because there are people over on the Donald.win, the Donald subreddit, that were saying, like, Tim thinks he's so big, when he tells people to stand up and speak out for Trump. But then, Alex Jones gets banned from his show or whatever. I'll tell you this. When they took down the Alex Jones podcast from Timcast IRL, I immediately invited, I would say almost immediately, invited back Alex and Michael to come on the show. And I said, I'm going to do it again. They were looking for a reason. I appealed. I said, put it back. They said, we'll see. But YouTube hard took the video down. I can't just snap my fingers. And if I re-upload it, that's losing the fight because I need them to say, okay, we were wrong, to reinstate this. Just getting myself banned doesn't make sense. I'm trying to win, right? But other than that, I said, we'll do another show. How about that? But I tell you this, it is easy to stand up. And if you didn't and you were scared, then if Trump doesn't win this political battle he's in right now and it's looking slim, well, then I got to say the first people that should be accepting fault are those who were too scared to speak out. Now, I get it. Antifa threatened your home. They threatened your safety and your family. I understand. I understand why you were scared. I understand why you did it, why you hid. Just rest assured, now they're going to be empowered because you did. It only made them stronger. Perhaps that was your last chance to stand up, or maybe Trump will pull through this one. We'll see. I'll leave it there. I got a couple more segments coming up in a few minutes. Stick around, and I will see you all shortly.